Hello, this is the Reverend Dan Partis. Normally I wear glasses, but as you can see, the computer screen is reflecting on them, and I don't like distractions any more than anyone else, so I'm going to remove them. You probably in the future videos won't see them. But I have to welcome you to this series. It's 4 chapters on my book, God Made You Debt Free, Time to Go Back. And I call it a nearly painless way of getting debt free. And I hope it helps you. I mean, if you are downloading it, you probably have an interest in getting rid of your debt. I did. I had over $100,000 worth of debt. I wanted to get rid of it. We took some drastic methods that some others might not take, but we also did a plan and a process. And that's what's outlined in this book. It takes you from the whys, why should you even consider getting debt free? Everyone's got debt, well, why bother? Then there's the chapters on, being real with yourself. You made the debt, you got the debt, how do you get rid of the debt? And it talks about bankruptcy, it'll talk a little bit about debt consolidation, my viewpoints on those. But truthfully, you have to first admit to yourself, whose debt is it? Is it the bank's debt? No. It's their money they have to collect, but it's not their debt. Is it your parents' debt for bringing you up the way you did? No, not really. Is it the church's debt? Yeah. They told you the right way to do things. We just didn't listen. In my case, it was that I didn't listen. It all boils down to it's my debt. I'm speaking for my case, but you have to say the same thing for yours. I overspent. I put it on plastic. I got so much debt rolled up that I couldn't make the payments properly there, and then I, through my own actions, basically is the way you want to look at it, I called the debt collection agencies and said, here, call me and annoy me until I pay you. Because I did what I knew I shouldn't do, which was to spend money I didn't have on things I really didn't need. Now, getting debt free is not going to be easy. And if you're viewing this just to learn how to remove a little bit of debt, it's a godsend. If, however, you're like me and had a massive amount of debt, it's a blessing. And even the painful things are blessings. I mean, I have a lot of people who say the prosperity gospels are from the devil and lies and cheats and all that. And they have their opinion. I'm not going to try and change their minds any more than I'd try and change your mind. But if you read the Bible properly, and I'm talking against a lot of so-called prosperity preachers out there right now who preach just that if you give, you'll get money. They change it to, if you give to me, you'll get money from God. That's not the way it works. God is not bribed. God is not fooled. And any true preacher of prosperity has to tell you that you may do all of this and not get a blessed thing, but you'll still prosper. Because people don't really know what prospering is. Especially not those who talk against the prosperity gospels, because they think prospering is money. It has nothing to do with money. Any more than loving Jesus has to do with being close to God. Loving Jesus means you love a master that came down here to teach us the right things to do. Being close to God says, hey, God, I put myself in your hands. I'll follow what the master says, but you are my driving force. Jesus himself said, worship not me, but worship the Father that cometh through me. How many of these preachers out there of any kind talk about that one? Jesus said, don't worship him. I still do. I love him. He is my mentor and my master, and he is my Savior. But he is not my God. God is my God. And God has told me that, hey, if you do something to get yourself in debt, you've got to do something to get yourself out of debt. That's why this book came about. This was, for me, first and foremost, to tell people it can be done, because I did it. I paid off over $70,000 worth of debt. I'm still working on it. But hey, I sold a house, moved into an apartment, paid off a whole bunch of debt, used this system. I also started home-based businesses. I did whatever I could to get money coming in versus going out. Then I took that money and paid down my debt. Now I have a house again, and we call it God's house because God gave it to us. And I've got a book because God told me it had to be written and given to his children. I am not charging for the book. I am a minister, and I don't get paid by the church, because that is first and foremost what these anti-prosperity gospels preachers talk about. They telling you, give them money and you'll prosper. I don't ask for money from the church. I don't ask for money from the people I'm talking to. All I ask is that I may be a light that you may follow. So in my home businesses, in everything I do, that is my first priority, is am I being a light that others can shine and follow? So in this series of text, I invite you to email me, to call me. If you email and say I need to talk, then I'll give you my phone number. I don't ask money except for my time, and that only happens if it's going to be excessive. Usually it's free. But I work for my money, and I work my businesses for my money. I do not ask from the church or from anyone else anything except to listen, and if I make sense, then follow. And I give you that and this book with light and love. I hope it helps you. I hope it gets you to be debt-free. And I hope it fills you with the desire to do the same for somebody else.